The Hebrew text in the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry as I group them into small paragraphs. Their grouping will become known as a psalm, and together they become psalms. Let me show you our Creator's 12 commandments, listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Any father of a family or his wife who did not obey any one of these 12 commandments, our Creator demanded they bring him a sin offering. Thus, our Creator defined the word sin as not obeying any one of these 12 commandments. Next, I want to show you how I changed one word in Exodus 26, verse 26. The word bars to arches, and the words now reveal the style of the roof for our Creator's tent for meeting with Him. Let me show you the translator's words from the preface of the 1611 King James Bible. They gave 4 reasons for themselves or others to edit the Bible's words. The red arrow at the top points to their 3rd reason to edit the text. By the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next red arrow down points to them giving the title, the Divine, to a clerk named Gregory. The next block of words, they point out they were happy that the first emperor of Rome established the year to the course of the sun. Behind this text means Nebuchadnezzar ordered his kingdom to follow our Creator's calendar when he stopped eating grass. Did you notice the letter S in sun is capitalized? This is to give respect to the Egyptian sun god Ra. Have you seen the Egyptian obelisk in the Vatican's front yard? The last arrow points to your reward for studying the Bible. Your reward is to have a fellowship with the saints and participation of a heavenly nature that will never fade away. There is no such thing as nature to a truthful Christian. Our Creator created everything. By their own words, they were not seeking to know our Creator or Jesus. Not everyone has the knowledge to correct every word. I have an old Bible program that has the New American Standard Bible 1977 concordance to help find a better word. Their concordance has the number of times they use that English word in a parenthesis for that Hebrew word. The translators removed his name, YHVH, to put in 2 titles, Lord and God. I replaced those titles using the letters Y and V as his name, for the Hebrew language does not have a J, O, or W. By using these 2 letters, I am closer to the truth than anyone using J, O, or W for his name. So why is there a single letter O in the Hebrew text 1,095 times? No proper English was used? The blue highlighted text is text that I am removing. The red highlighted words are little words that I'm adding. Gray italic words are words that I added. To respect and honor our Creator, all capital letters in purple are our Creator's words. This is Jesus' prophecy, for I am revealing the first writer's words to tell you the true truths about Jesus. As the text is revealed, you can taste the writer's style of wording. Their words will take your belief to trusting our Creator. You will be watching prophecy before your eyes as I added true truths back into their psalms. Well, right out the gate, I've got warnings on streaming too much here, so let me fix the output. $45. Okay, I've been having troubles with this for a while. Anyways, I need to set those things up, and oh man, still don't have that. All right, now this is Zechariah chapter 1, and I've got all of them done here on this side. And to show you the editing, this side, excuse me, This side shows you what I'm going to end up getting out of all this. But I need to go over what I'm doing here. So this should probably take about maybe an hour and a half. So if you want to get to the very end, go ahead and after you watch a little bit so you understand what's going on. And then I'll show you how I reordered everything that I found. And I have some order, I hope that's right, for Zechariah. All right. When I'm doing gray letter words, these let's see if this still works. Hey. When I'm doing this color here, all gray letters, that is the words that I'm completely adding. Just like down here, you can see that I'm adding all those words. Now, knowing that, the green text, either I'm trying to replace a word for another word, or I need to add a letter to correct the word. When I'm using the red highlighted like this will be text that will be said that I'm adding completely, but I'm put it in italic so you can see the words that I've put into the text. The blue text means I'm getting rid of this text. Okay, it's just not needed. It's over-salted words are what they are, really. These are... Okay, I thought I got another warning. I've switched computers today, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get some streaming going here without interruption. I don't think any of these edits are all that bothersome right now. You can see I've added the word forefathers, so you make sure that it's past history. And by the way, these are the first writer's formats that are appearing. And you'll see that I can dig them out and do this period as a statement. This over here, I guess it'd be easier. As a statement, and these two hook together to reinforce the statement. It's talking about this. Very beautiful writing. Hasn't been done like this since the Hebrews did this, probably starting right around 3,000 years ago. Okay. So the word that I'm changing here from deeds to practice, your evil deeds, the practice is considered how to meditate to have a sex with a so-called female goddess. If you're new to that information, follow my streams, and I'll put up more information in my videos. But this, I'm doing a summary of Zechariah here. So when I changed the word from listen to obey, that I felt was close enough that I didn't need to make it gray text. But here, all this text did not make it at all. So that would be the next group down here is what I'm going to start down here at the bottom. When you read these, it's not really part of the story that I've got, and it's not hooking with the other story here that's coming up. So a lot of times you can't find a format, which means these people that are putting the text in were the people I just spoke about having that sex practice. They're the ones that are putting this in. They're known as mankind. Okay. This is the way the Hebrews counted. They didn't have like the word for 19 or 45 like that. They would always write it as 10 and 1 to mean that it's 11. If they were going to go like 20 years, they go 2 tens. Okay. So I'm trying to follow that Hebrew text that way. And if you're noticing, I'm using like two major words here. I'm using like this word here, and I'm using this word here to make this verse. Most of the time it happens over here. You can see it here and here. But if I go down, I don't always get that choice of staying that way to this, but that's what I'm trying to do when you find the format, okay? So you got to make the shortest verse you can get, and then you'll find a story. You can see that I'm removing a lot of this stuff. They didn't have a count like of a month. Their months were 7 days for 5 weeks, and that would be a 5 count. Okay, and the year always does not end correctly on the date, so it's just a restart at the summer solstice that it's the first day of the year, and they go on from there. They didn't need that much accuracy back then. Okay. He didn't see this. This is a vision, okay? When you see that he's going to describe what's in the night, that is a vision. So to correct that was vision. From riding to sitting on a gray horse, he wasn't riding because he was among, let me see here. I forgot how to enlarge this. Well, I guess I should have got prepared. But here, he was sitting, but there he's among the trees, so it has to be sitting, not riding. I used a gray horse because they had this squirrel, and that is pretty much a reddish horse. So I needed a different color horse. So other than that, no biggie there. Now sitting, because I use sitting there, I use sitting here among the horses. Okay, I'm over here right now. I don't want to get ahead of the story, so, but I want you to be able to look over here and see the editing that it ends up to be, because you can see, like, look at all this, removed all this text, and yet I found the verse that goes with that. And that happens, I mean, I can go sometimes like 40 verses sometimes, these short ones like this, and then it follows up and it starts the conversation, stays together. It's just unique to see the destruction that they put into the text, and then it's getting revealed when I'm doing this type of editing. Now, anybody can do a quick editing to find out what's going on themselves, to prove that it's not that difficult. And even though I own the copyrights to all of this for all the books in the Bible, but I only use specific books. But Daniel is a 3-verse format like this. and a very easy to find. But the whole book is a 3-verse. This here is what I was talking about right here, as 7 tens for 70 years. Okay. A lot of times they're double speaking a lot. I give reasons. There's like 7 reasons that I usually list in my other videos that I do when I'm breaking them down. If you're new and if you're new to this video, you'll find that my other videos, I have many helps and assists that I go through: maps, King's timelines, what I do and what I don't do as far as removing the text. A lot of times they're a repeat or they don't fit the subject, but I forgot that list. I should get that list to be able to pull up, but this is the first one that I'm actually doing like this, so it's kind of a trial and error right now. Didn't proclaim. Our Creator usually prophesies, okay, about when it's being prophesied. So, or he prophesied something. So the thing here is he does command, but he rarely says go and proclaim. Okay. Thus, this is from Wyvie. Now, you've seen the intro to my video of why I do 2 letters like this. And the way you see the text over here with all capital letters, this is to honor and respect our Creator. And you can see I'm coloring the word angel and everything the angel says in green, other than words that are meaning it's action by our Creator. And I don't have everything edited right now because you're going to see a lot of this change as I go through. Now, this is going to be the end of this here. And then you can see how this text here, it just does not fit the format. The subject, there's no subject that you can find going through here. And if you watch my other videos, when I go through these and I work on them, you'll find that I do a lot of hammering to actually make sure that I don't miss a verse that has a format to it. So sometimes the formats actually can't be used because it's just a piece stuck there in the middle or in the text itself. Lift up, he's raised, not your eyes, but your head. Didn't look, he saw. When it's a question, you have to have asked. Some of these things are basic, okay? So like see to know, that's, he didn't want to see how wide it was for knowledge to know. And usually when I'm doing something like this, I've got that Bible program that you've seen as I intro. A lot of times I'll check and you'll see that those words, even though they look like they're different, a lot of times they'll be in the text in that program to say, yes, it can be used. They used it for no instead of the word see. Then the angel said, will be re-inhabited without walls. Now that's unique to understand that Jerusalem at the time Solomon built it. They used a lot of limestone, and what they did was they built from wood to like fortify the city. And they would use the limestones around the gates and stuff like that, and probably on the corners and things like that, because they had, I can't remember, maybe about 100 years after David's time, they started putting up like catapults and stuff on the corners of the tower of the corners. So to have this understanding it was going to be rebuilt without walls is very important, because a lot of people, when they go look at what can be found when you dig up history and say, oh, look at this, look at that. Well, it was there and then it wasn't there. Okay, that's what this sentence is saying. Because the multitude of the men and cattle in it, okay, Wyvie will be a wall around. I mean, when you start seeing text like this is absolutely corrupt. Wyvie will be a wall of fire around her. And they are putting a female deity in these verses. There should be no identity of anything. I mean, people today say Mother Earth. Well, that's just disrespecting our Creator. Our Creator made everything. So you're putting a female deity on the earth. And it's not just nature, it's our Creator's creation. Yeah, this text just doesn't go right together. A lot of times, I just want to point out here, a lot of times, they use the word Zion, and it is actually the city Jerusalem. So you should get to understand when you're reading your old Bible, because this text, when it gets done, will be the second aid. Our Creator has another format that I'll be going over, but I'm pretty much recording this as history of what I've done. So 300 years later, the text should still remain the same. Don't touch it. You haven't the slightest idea what's going on with the text here. But like the word dwell, to live, that's very common. That's another word for live. Midst is among, so there's nothing there. Now, this one here, when it does say nations, it does mean races. Or it could, when the word is used as peoples, it could be used as races. So that's why I use the word races here, because that is the promise our Creator was giving people, starting from the time of Abraham. I don't see anything how this connects. Be silent, all flesh, before Wyvie he is aroused from his holy habitation. He does not have a habitation, so I don't know who they're talking about, except they're talking about their god or goddess. Now I'm going to... How come this is all cleaned up? Oh, that was 2. Was it 2? Yeah, that was 2. And I brought it down here to clean it up. I was doing things, and I should take that out. I forgot. Now we're into 3. Okay. And you can see there's not going to be much left in 3 here. When the yellow is showing, I'm moving that word from there to here, just out of order. Other times I've mentioned that I've switched the words around, especially on our Creator's Hidden Formats. I went into detail. Again, our Creator just doesn't say. Here he's told Satan. Okay, I couldn't think of a better word than told. Satan, I have rejected you. Rebuke, to reject, is pretty easy. And down here is they have Joshua, and a lot of people say, well, that's the Hebrew name for Jesus, but actually it is Yah, and I will show that in another video, but let me do that here. Let me see if I can bring that up. Well, that's wrong side. How come I didn't do that? Let me show you this. They were to wait for Jesus, and this is Isaiah 38, verse 11. King Hezekiah for the kingdom of Judah. If I replace the word or the title and put in the Hebrew word, you can see I will not say Yah in the land of the living, and you know they were waiting for Jesus. So I will be making a video on that. I just got a lot of things on my plate right now. From filthy to dirty, a garment is not a garment. They wore hides. They usually wore goat hides or sheep hides or ram hides, and they were all white. And then they had a rope as a belt to keep it tied together. But that's how you would know all Hebrews' custom from the time of Noah all the way through Jesus's time. That's how they knew who the Hebrews were. They were distinctively dressed the same way. They had they built their tents like each other. I mean, they all had this following from years and 1,000 years. They lived, maybe 3,000 years they lived with these garments. You'll find that when I do another book, you'll find that our Creator is going to tell you that's how what Jesus is going to be wearing. So here they got a turban, a clean turban, okay? And now that's in your manuscript, okay? When you click on the word turban, you will find that is a word that they want to use, and yet they never had a turban, okay? Now this is Yah. He's not going to be wearing a turban, okay, on his head. And he's not going to have a garment. He's going to have a robe because he's going to be a king. So you have to have the word robe and not garment, or not even the word hide, because when you put a crown on his head, you're a robe. He has a robe as a king. See, they're going to stick with the word Joshua here, and that's just wrong. By the way, I've been doing this for over 30 years. Well, close to 30 years. So I know what I'm talking about. You got questions, put them in the comment section, and I will get to them. If you watch my videos, you'll see I go into great detail when I'm doing these. Sometimes it takes me 3 hours to go through just one chapter. Okay. I use the word shook. I like that word better. I'm adding the word like, but they always use the word man, but they're using the secular dictionary or a secular word man for a male. And yet our Creator defined man as I will make man male and female. So if you're using the word man and you're talking about only a male, you're not following our Creator very well. There's a lot of words that you should not be speaking. If you think you're a Christian at all, you should be following what and obeying how our Creator defines what the words are. Okay, I changed the word from bowl to cups on top for the lamps, and these sprouts are actually branches. Okay. Now here they put in 2 olive trees by it. Well, these lampstands are usually only about 5 foot high at the most. And then you got 2 trees that can grow at least 30 foot high. This is just junk when you start doing this, seeing text like this. You don't try to make the text fit, or don't try to tell yourself that the text has special meanings for these things. Make sense of the verse, because the Hebrews didn't write that way. There's not special meanings within the words. You have to understand the words and the correct meaning for the words, and then you'll understand our Creator's usage of how he defines words. So let's see here. Now, this name here is Zerubbabel. I think that's going to be Daniel when I come down to doing Daniel and Ezra, who came down with the utensils being sent back. But this story, as you're seeing here, yeah, this story stops. There's no more story to it. So the thing here is it's hard to put the answer to some of these. So that's why I have a little space in between here. So if you want to read that, you can see how the format is there, but there's nothing here to go with it. That's why I said I'll be piecing them together and see if I can find what goes together and what doesn't go together. Here, it's not a spirit. The word spirit, you have to understand that they knew that there was hot and they knew there was cold. They knew there was breath. But the cause of these, like what is the cause of words? You can't see these. These would have been just defined as a spirit, okay? So the thing there is breath could be a spirit. You don't see it unless you got cold. Then you breathe out in your warm breath and cold. You'll see that. So that's kind of how you'll find the definition for spirit is used. And when I see it, I try to put in the correct meaning. And you can see the word will, although will is kind of like, is it a thought? Is it, is it something from the heart? But the object is I'm using it as not my spirit, but my will. Okay? Because what he's talking about is as the people are coming back, returning from Babylon, this guy here is going to be the leader coming back, and he will rebuild my house for meeting with me, and by your commands they will finish it. But he's given it that it's not your will, but it's his will. Now who is actually Zechariah? He is a prophet that took over after Jeremiah died, because it's going to be a 40-year return before they return. So you have Jeremiah was still there, and that comes out of the stories Jeremiah. And then you'll find that that's when they were sent into Babylon, and then there's actually text of him being left there. And then you see this guy showing up. Now, Zechariah. So Zechariah is the prophet among the remnant of people. Now, what I want to do here is talk about why I added the word meeting, with me. The thing here is Moses was commanded to make a house for meeting with our Creator, for the priest to come in and ask for that person's forgiveness. Okay? It's a house for meeting with him. When you read the word temple, you should automatically know that if they're talking about our Creator's house as a temple, that's wrong, because the word temple is used for putting a false god in as an idol. Okay? That's how corrupt the text is, and I know people just aren't strong enough to figure out. Christians have been deceived for so long, they don't know what's right or wrong. Nobody's out there really teaching the truth. A lot of this text, sometimes I know it's already been said, so I'll get rid of it. But just like this, all of a sudden there's gold pipes instead of branches to hold this up. And then the trees ended up being two anointed ones, which to be anointed, you have to understand what that word means. Our Creator, in his meeting room, he had a table set off to the side that had a pitcher of olive oil in it that was used to fill up the lamp bowls or cups. Actually, they looked like a flower, but they were cups. And then they were to fill this oil up with, but this oil was special. It was also to anoint the priest before they could go in to serve in his courtyard. It was also poured upon a king's head to say that our Creator has made him king or judge. Okay? So it's very important to understand the word, because once you do, you can see how stupid some of this stuff is. That's pretty easy. I cut down the size because I needed just a 3-verse here. So, but it's just a 10 by 10 cubic wide. So it's a square. And not purged away, it's cast out. Purge is same thing as cast out. So I put those words in, like them better, because to cast out means that if you were not forgiven by our Creator, you were to be sent out of the nation, cast off. Okay? So, just like those that were corrupt and went on to another god and goddess, that were cast out and sent away as captives or killed. Going to coming. It has to be coming too, so he can see what's going on. It can't be going away. Okay. Ephod is a pot, but the thing here is ephah is I made it a pot because this pot has to be big enough, though, for her to sit in it. And this is the evilness. She is wickedness. And this story here that you see over here, this is what the vision he's having, that this is going to be part of a story that they're going to be talking about as that's why they were cast away. They were sent away into captivity. And evilness is anything that's truly against our Creator. People who are, these are the true atheists that are sitting and meditating to have sex with a so-called female goddess. Now, and they have a lot of followers. You have to remain single to do this practice, like the Pope and the bishops, monks, nuns, hermits. But here, when you look at this here words right here in this group, it is strange because I had to put all these words in because she is not wickedness, but evilness. And here, they're going to make a temple for her and put her in the land of Shinar, which is in Egypt. It's actually the Great Pyramid. And prepared and set on her own pedestal. Talking about making a female goddess idol right here in the text. And you know our Creator would not want that. He told them that's why they were cast off. Okay? So the thing here is this was to be cast off, and they changed these words around to then turn around and make her special, that she wasn't wicked. Okay? So you're probably learning a lot of things new here, because I am well aware of everything. Okay? So if you want to even learn how to meditate and have sex with a female goddess, I don't like revealing that, but I had that up as a video, and after I got like 400 hits on it, I was done trying to teach people that, listen, this is how it's done. And then I don't really want you to do that practice, but that's against our Creator. Okay. Here I'm having to add 2 verses because I haven't the slightest idea. If I did, I would try to put some gray text in. But when I know, I'll put it in. But when I don't know, I got to say I can't add what I don't know. Okay, now this, when you're seeing this over here, as I'm building it up, and you can see that I'm getting this great format, okay? Okay, well, down here, all of a sudden, they're starting to miss words, and then they're putting in like 1 word or 2 words here, and then I've got to add words that they didn't, but then I've got this great format, but nothing about the next verse. As you can see, these are 1, 2, and then this, and then there's 4 verses that are missing, and a whole bunch of more stuff that should be there, but it's not. Okay, but I had to correct the word 1 and add the word chariot. Second chariot, yeah, but that's what the word 1 meant. And they weren't countries, they're kingdoms. They weren't mentioned as countries ever. They're always a kingdom. That's outside of the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel, when I say nation, that means it's a gathering of a group of like tribes, okay, much like the United States, got their own court system, they pass their own laws, and then it goes all the way up to the High Court, which would be like the Supreme Court. Well, they would send it to, they would go and ask from Jerusalem at his house from the priest the right answer. But a kingdom isn't like that. That person owns everything. And then, like I said, this is the verses that I couldn't get together to find out what this was to mean. Okay. So you can see that even though I've got a format here, this is going to be just thrown out. I can't use it with nothing. But it's there. Okay. When it says exiles, they're actually captives. I shortened these people's names down so we don't have any problems. Got rid of one because I only have, like I was saying, I got to have one word and a second word. See how this is done all over the place? Okay. So now you see why I got rid of that name. Now this, when I was doing this, I found this verse went up here better for the words to actually be read right. So you can see over here, because if you just have this here, they aren't connecting together. You can see that this comma and this period, these go together. And this, if I did, that would be just a 3 verse.